for coming. This tea has been a year in progress to plan. We had a wonderful tea committee led by our tea chair, Judy Bailey Ogle.
And we could not have done this without Miss Susan Bell and Miss Cindy Warden. Can you have them come, please?
I want you to come here.
Yes. They are responsible for the delicious food we're making. It's on the way. Okay, very good. Well, I think that now I am going to turn it over to Miss Kathy Gwinn. Thank you. She's going to tell us about tea etiquette and what we should and should not do.
Good afternoon, ladies. It's good to see all of you. Now, my presentations today, several of them are going to be on idioms, expressions of the colonial era, women's fashions during that time, men's fashions, things like that. But also, I thought, if it's okay with you, I just thought, I bet you guys have had a couple times when you may have had some tea etiquette lessons. And so I will be watching and scoring you at the end, And so if you want to get out, you have to score at least like 85%. You're going to have a big church number tomorrow. No, I'm just teasing. But I want to tell you what I'm going to do. And if you want to keep track of this on the back of your little itinerary for today, your schedule, I'm going to share a few things, and in the process, I want you to keep track of how many times I use play on words or puns about tea. So I hope, if you're like me, I sometimes have difficulty multitasking, doing two things at once, but I have a lot of confidence in you ladies. So I'm going to share a couple of things about attending a formal tea party. Number one, when attending a formal tea party, you should all be dressed to a T. And you look pretty good. Number two, once seated, you should engage in very polite conversation with each and every person represented at your table. In other words, when you come to a tea party, don't be shy. A quality, refined lady speaks not only to her bestie, but to all, yet finally balances the temptation of becoming too chatty. Right? We're up to 5. I'll give you a little hint. Number 3, when hosting a tea party, it is proper to serve many, many types of tea, since we all know that variety is the spice of life. You should never kettle for second best. Serve Earl Grey and it's sip, sip, hooray. Number 4, for safety reasons, always ensure that you're working, ladies, with a perfectly level floor and table. That's very, very important. And as the host, you must guarantee there will be no spills. That is not a possibility in a formal tea. You don't want anyone to get burned and accuse you of cruelty. Number 5, if you decide the time has come for you to host your very own first tea party, and afterwards you are sorely disappointed with the outcome, ladies, remember, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Number 6, it is most proper to always come to a tea reception in very, very high spirits and fully refreshed. It would be in very poor taste to come tired and to go to sleep at the table. If, however, you should nod off for just a moment, never, never let your spoon drop violently to the bottom of your cup. And do remember, girls, even if you nod off for just a second, sweet dreams are made of tea. And in closing, I want to say this, in connecting it to that very, very important Boston Tea Party. We all know that it was the patriot, Samuel Adams, who first brewed up the idea of the Boston Tea Party. After all, the British had just issued a penny tax for every pound of tea. A mere penny, you may say? What is that? Were the colonists being just a little petty? Absolutely not. They wanted equality. Now, Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty, well, they appreciated the gravity of this situation. No taxation without representation. What brutality that would be if we continued this activity. Yes, it was true. The colonists were guilty of throwing the crates overboard, for which they would have to pay a very, very high penalty. After all, one could not offend royalty and threaten King George's sovereignty and England's property without the reality of consequences. Perhaps I've been thinking that most of us would do well to consume much, much more of this hot beverage. It might help us be a lot more in terms of honesty. Of course, then, however, we would have to all run and TP a lot more.
They're about to start the savory course, and I would be remiss if I did not recognize our lovely servers. These are volunteer ladies that have come to help us today so that we ladies who are in the chapter can enjoy the tea. So let's give them a round of applause. And we have a little teapot over there that will hold some tips if you would like to tip our waiters and our servers, and that would be very much appreciated. Thank you. The savory course is about to begin, and I hope